Hey, thank you for your interest in STLP. Let's talk about what it might look like in your school. So, what does STLP look like? Well, it can look like a bunch of different things. There's lots of different ways that STLP can look in a school. Number one, it could look like a small group of students. It could be anywhere from 2 to 4 to 8 to 10 students. Actually, there's no minimum number of students and no maximum number of students on STLP. It could be this small group can meet before school, after school, or during school hours. They could meet once a week. They could meet once every other week. They can meet twice a month. Whatever you feel the need to meet with your STLP, that's how you could, however you want it to look, it can look. It can also be your class. Your STLP can be your class. You can do a class project that is an STLP project and integrated as part of your school day. You could even involve your entire school as your STLP. So lots of different ways for STLP to look. Let's talk project examples, STLP project examples. Here is a project from Olmsted South a few years back where they did a women in technology project where they set out, Olmsted South is an all-girls middle school, they set out to find women who are in STEM and technology career fields and to bring those women in to speak to the students at Olmsted South to get them more motivated to go into STEM career tech fields and majors in college. So the goal was to eventually host a Women in Technology night to where these women would come and talk to the students at Olmsted South and get them interested in STEM and technology career fields. It was a great project. It went to level 3. Let's talk another possible project, student tech teams. So this is Newburgh Middle School. You know, you guys have one-to-one devices now in every JCPS school. You might look at having a student tech team to help you manage those devices. And it could be as simple as going around and making sure all the carts are plugged in, or helping make sure that even making sure that the Chromebooks are clean. You know, the numbers line up with where they're supposed to in the cart, or you have problem solving minor tech issues for students. However you want that to look, student tech team is a great idea for your possible STLP project, just like these kids at Newburgh Middle School. Kindness and culture. So here's a great project from Chenoweth Elementary where they highlight a staff member every week. And they put out a QR code that links to a Google form. And on that Google form, the Chenoweth community can leave positive feedback about that staff member. And then at the end of the week, they post the positive comments, and they actually do this on Twitter so the whole world can see. And it fills this person's bucket for the week, right? So it's a great way to kind of build that culture for your school and spread kindness, highlighting those staff members of the week. You could even do this possibly for students as well, maybe not make it so public, but just to kind of build kindness and culture in your school. I think this is a great idea, and it's a simple thing, just QR code and a Google form. Just another example of a project there, right? Multicultural Library, this was from Norton Commons Elementary 2 years ago. It was actually the state runner-up. What they found at Norton Commons was their library was not very multicultural, right? So they surveyed their staff members, they surveyed their students, they surveyed their community at Norton Commons, and they went out and sought books that were more representative of the kind of school that they have at Norton Commons Elementary, and they filled their book with filled their library with multicultural books to reflect that diversity within the school, and within JCPS. So they use Google Sites and Google Forms and Google Slides along the way. This was actually, again, state runner-up 2 years ago. So what does the timeline look like on STLP? In September, you're putting together your team, whether it's that small group that I talked about earlier, or it's your class, or some other iteration of that. You're going to brainstorm project ideas. The best project ideas come from the kids, right? So you might have several project ideas that kind of get narrowed down to one, right? Brainstorming those project ideas. Use the STLP project toolkit, which is linked here on this slide, to help you kind of figure out a possible project and kind of nail down that project, which will lead you to October, where you are filling in the implementation statement. So this is where you say, our project is student tech team. The problem, challenges, addresses is we have one-to-one devices and we need help managing those devices. We picked it because it's a lot of work to manage 500 Chromebooks for an entire school. The technology we'll use is Google Forms, possibly Google Sites, Google Slides, that kind of stuff. Okay, and there's a rubric down here to kind of help you build that pitch out and kind of figure out, do I meet all these aspects of the rubric? November is about putting together your presentation. So you're putting together your presentation, and that's going to be Google Slides most likely. And you're putting together a presentation, and you're practicing your presentation against that rubric for level 1 projects. And December is about pitching. So you're going to present that pitch that you put together in November. So let's talk about that pitch. You're going to have 2 to 4 of your best presenters deliver your pitch, and it's going to be a 10-minute presentation interview. So the ideal being that you have 5 to 7 minutes of a presentation, and then you leave 2 to 3 minutes for the judges to ask questions. All right. And so if this is a virtual regionals, which most likely it's going to be, your kids will present on a Google Meet to 3 to 4 judges from across the state, and then those judges will listen to the pitch and then ask questions about your pitch. And then total project completion is due by state. So again, you're just presenting the pitch and the idea for your project in December, and you're taking action on that pitch from December to April. So if your idea is to start a student tech team, you're going to deliver that pitch in December, and then at state, if you move on to state, you're going to tell how that project went from when you put it into the action from December to April. Okay, you're judged against a rubric, and you have to score a certain score to move on to the state championship. When you get to the state championship, this is in April, live at Rupp Arena. Again, it'll be a 10-minute presentation and interview, and you're competing against other showcases, again, with a rubric as a guide. And then if you move on from level 2, you get to level 3. Those are the top projects in the state, and this is what that looks like, okay? If you have any more questions, you can always reach out to me, Russell Hockenberry. And here is the state STLP website, which is also helpful. I hope this just kind of gives you a brief overview of what STLP is and how to get started with STLP.